Hello, welcome back to our family channel. I'm JMJ Booksmart, and today we are starting a 24-hour-ish reading vlog. I really don't know how it's going to go on for, but essentially I wanted to vlog this whole day, and then I watched Grey's Anatomy for the morning portion of my day. I played Ghost of Yeti for my afternoon portion, and now we're here at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and I do have formatting to do for book 2. Let's talk about that first. If you want to do a 24-hour readathon, and you're like, what should I binge? What should I read immediately? I highly recommend Gunshot Residue. Yes, I did write it, so there's a self-plug. There are links down below. The sequel comes out on November 3rd. I wanted to say November 9th, but it's November 3rd, called P49. That's the cover right there. This book follows Alex as he believes his husband is cheating on him. It's a very fast-paced read. You can get through it in a single sitting for sure, without a doubt. The couple is already married. It is spicy. There is at least 2 or 3 extended spicy sequences inside the book. It's intense and it has some really good fun things in it. I don't know. I recommend it. That being said, normally for a 24-hour readathon, I have a plethora of graphic novels and short fiction to get through, and or a current audiobook. So we'll start there. My current audiobook I'm currently listening to is Taurus Season. This is due back tomorrow, so I do need to get through it. We're gonna play some, not Animal Crossing, some Stardew Valley, I think, on the Switch for me to finish it, because I think that's what I'm in it for. I just have a little bit left of this because I don't want to go downstairs. My Legos are downstairs because I was thinking Legos, but they require me to bring Legos upstairs. I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? I just don't want to. And that's the plan. I think we're going to play some Stardew Valley and get all cozy and finish that audiobook. This follows a woman Harper, who ends up meeting Nolan as a meet-cute situation, and we learn that Harper is a serial killer, pretty prolific serial killer at this point, and she was in a town called King Carnage that basically celebrates death all the time. Great for her. And she is protecting an old man named Arthur, who is a retired serial killer, who still might be active. It's still on the fence. And then we have Nolan, who was in a horrible car accident wreck, and ended up having to train his entire body to function again, and he had one goal, was to track down everybody who did this to him, and the person behind the wheel was Harper. But was it? The jury is still out. I'm 70% into this. I don't have much longer the book, so we're gonna finish it. And then we'll jump into all the other ones I don't physically like. I couldn't hold up for you. We'll start with the absolutes. So we have Absolute Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman. This is the series I want to start. I do plan on possibly vlogging them, but they're ongoing, so I don't really know. Is that something you're interested in? I might just talk about them in a vlog like this instead of doing a whole series based around them. However, I think Wonder Woman is gonna be the winner here for me to continue. However, I do typically like Batman due to some of the other stuff, like Batman in general, and I heard some good things are happening over there. I have a feeling I'm not gonna like Superman. I typically don't like a Superman comic, so I don't feel like Absolute's gonna tail me in. However, my brother did have a few issues of The Flash. He liked me the first one. He said I'm probably not gonna like it, which objectively makes a lot of sense for me personally. And then he also gave me the first volume in issue form of Manhunter, so we also read that today, and we'll figure out which one I'm gonna continue on with. I was told that the first few issues are interconnected, and then everything else is pretty much they go on their own routes. That's the plan. Some other like physical mangas that I have and graphic novels. We have Revolution 9. The cover intrigued me. I have no idea what that's about. We have Demon Slayer Volume 1. I really want to read Demon Slayer. I watched the entire television show in 2 weeks. Saw the new movie, was mad I didn't get an ending. I knew that, but like I was just like disappointed. I want to read the manga so I can experience the ending without having to wait like 6 years. That's the plan. Speaking of TV shows I did finish and do know the ending of, we have Attack on Titans. These are big beefy boys. These are volumes 20 through to 27. So I think these are each volume's like, is there even page numbers in this? I don't think so. These are really long. Is the moral of the story. However, these are where I'm at in this series, and so I want to continue on with it. Alrighty, I'll update you when I finish my first book. Much later. I'm sorry, I took a little bit of break. I had to go do run errands and stuff. We finished Taurus Season. I'm giving it, actually, maybe this is probably a better look. Giving it a 3.75 or 3.25. The problem here is that like, it didn't feel like a whole book. It just didn't feel like I was reading like a whole story, and I feel like even if you're doing a trilogy, which this is a trilogy, I would probably pick up the next one. I was curious. I'll probably pick up the next one next year, but with a trilogy, you know, you have to have an overlapping story between all three that typically gets wrapped up in the third book, right? But each book also needs its own condensed plot, and I don't personally feel like that was there. There's an element of the book that gets introduced probably about 25 to 30% in, and that element does not get addressed again until the 95% mark, which I find extremely frustrating, as I found that to be the most interesting element. And there's actually really no reason why this element, I mean, there was a slight reason, I won't lie, I guess it's wrong, there is a slight element, there's a slight reason, but it wasn't fully fleshed out. So the next thing we're going to be reading is, I have my stack of comics. We're just going to work our way through these. I think we're going to start with Demon Slayer and just go down. So I'll update you after I finish each one. So I actually ended up reading upwards of like 900 pages instead of updating you, but I just figured it'd be easier to talk about all three together. Demon Slayer, I landed on a 4, I think. Maybe a 4.25. It really is exactly like the opening of the show, so no complaints. And I just love Nezuko so much, so I'm happy to be back in this world. This does give me vibes. I'm pretty sure I was told that there's a few extra storylines throughout that they didn't add into the show due to pacing issues, so I'm looking forward to those. But as of right now, I have a feeling it's probably going to be a really, really good adaptation. They're probably all going to be around 4s and 5s. Going forward is my best guess. The newer stuff could be either interesting and or boring. It's just a mixed bag, which we'll talk about because we do have some new stuff to talk about for Attack on Titans. So I did rate these individually because I find, well, here's the thing. I've rated all the books individually so far in the series, and so I wanted to continue to do so instead of switching over to the omnibuses. I also feel like I prefer reading them smaller. This was hard to read like this because it's so thick. It's such a beefy boy. It's like 600 pages, maybe less. So this alone is 1,200 pages. You know what I mean? What are my thoughts? What are my thoughts? So this overall, I think I'm giving, like, as an omnibus, like a 4.5 or 4.25. The thing here, this is practically all information. This is all catching you up to speed and telling you all the answers that you and I have had questions for such a long time. So as a reader who's never seen the TV show, I'm gonna be honest with you, I feel like every volume in here is gonna hit even harder and harder and harder. And then also it does have a pretty fucking amazing ending and a pretty killer twist. But because I have seen the TV show and these are very true to its adaptations, there's only like 1 or 2 sections in here in particular dealing with children that I don't remember. However, because of how the TV show does it, I was really bored during this section because I didn't care for them. I actually think the TV show did a horrible job of adapting this because of how it was cut and because of how like it was structured. I mean, it's structured the same way, but for some reason it just didn't play the same. So I actually do enjoy a lot of these characters better here. Gabby, a big one. Gabby is a controversial character if you're familiar with the Attack on Titans universe. However, I did find certain sections of this still boring because like they don't pop as much. And a lot of these newer characters that get introduced in the third act, they don't stick around. Like they don't have like a lot of page time and or on TV show screen time. I mean, they have big storylines, don't get me wrong, but like we're coming from years and years of character growth. I mean, by the end of this one, we're on episode 105, and a lot of those episodes are dedicated to Eren and Mikasa, and I can't think of his best friend's name off the top of my head, which makes me sad. He wasn't really in this, to be fair, either of these. And so like all that I think plays a pretty big factor in my enjoyment. Now, that being said, this is a 4.75. This was hit after hit. The only one that was not a full hit for me was volume number 27, because 27 we're going back down and we're talking a bit more about information that I already know, and so it's not going to be as fun to read. Volume 25 and 26 are the big set pieces that I was really looking forward to, and I was curious to see if there were any changes, and all of it was the same. All of it was beautifully rendered and done so perfectly, so I loved it. Also, some of my faves did make appearances again. I don't want to spoil anything because the whole point of the series is kind of like The Walking Dead. You don't know who's alive, so I'm not here to spoil characters that could be alive here. And also, I mean, this is the point where you start to see a character go downhill. Like, this is the point where a lot of people in the TV show said this was a character suicide, essentially building up this amazing person and showing the worst. And somehow, once again, I think in the TV show it does slightly come off that way because you're like, why? But in the book, because like it started here, the development started here. So by the end of here, it's like fully in charge, right? It's fully taking place. There is no coming back from it, and I fully understand why, and I fully understood why by the end of the TV show too. I didn't agree with the actions that were taken, a lot of them, and I didn't agree with the choices that were made. Honestly, I found them to be quite disheartening, and I found them to be very frustrating as a viewer. But that's the beautiful thing about Attack on Titans. It's not supposed to be easy. It's not supposed to be black and white. Everybody in here is morally gray. There is no objective one villain, which I think is why a lot of people took the offense of, by the end of the series, it kind of does draw a line in a sand, per se, on what is a villain and what is not. It has a very similar stance in like Game of Thrones Sons of Era as well, where it's like, does the crime outweigh the punishment, or does the punishment equal the crime? You know what I mean? By the way, we're not there yet. I think I have probably like 2 more of these big bad boys, and then Attack on Titans, my read through of that series would be over and I would complete it. But yeah, that's where we're at. That's where we're at. Okay, it is now 11:53. This day is over. I read, so I'm gonna read Revolution 9. I don't know what this is. And then I think we're gonna pick up these next and see if I like them or not. And we'll go from there. I'm not really sure past that point, but as of right now, this is where we stand. All right, we are gonna end reading for this evening. I did finish Revolution 9. I gave it a 4. This is volume 1. It follows our main character, oh my god, Valentine. She was a part of a order that's been around for 3,000 years. She ends up leaving it. That's this girl right here. And she has a kill order on her, and so she's trying to survive. And she ends up running around with this man, I think his name's Logan, and trying to survive and stuff. I liked it. I thought it was good. Not as good as this cover. Also, this lady never shows. Not as good as the cover, but it was still, I still enjoyed myself, and I will read more if there's more to read. I'm interested. I also did not start iShot either, which I think is the next book I will choose. It's fun, it's quick, it's fast. I need something that I can read relatively quickly because we are going to be jumping into Clown and Cornfield, and I want to make sure that I do have space for that. That's where we're going to end tonight. I'll come back tomorrow, and we'll do a bit more reading tomorrow, and then we'll end this vlog. Will not lie, I've not really done any reading today. I had to finish formatting and doing some other stuff for P49 for its release, but I had to get some of that stuff. I had to get all that stuff done. I now have a website, a bunch of other stuff. I only got all the new things that I created today. Got its a list down below. That being said, we're going off to go find a collector's edition of a novel. We're gonna go off to Half Price Books and spend some money. Then also there's a Wicked thing that I thought was pretty cool in Lego that was at Meijer at one point, so we're gonna go see if it has it. I have to go do a little bit of shopping as well, but I'll take you on that little journey with me. When we get back, we'll probably read on my Kindle is my best guess. The next audiobook I'm choosing, I'll update you. I don't know yet. Hello. I want to come here and update you guys. It's now 9:20 in the afternoon, in the evening, so as you can tell, it's been over 24 hours. I do think after this last book, I might call it. I don't know. I still want to read the graphic novels I have left to read. So we might not call it. We might not call it. I might give in and read the 3 absolutes that I already have. Then also might read the comic psychology one as well. Today was a very busy day when it comes to author stuff, like I mentioned earlier. So I didn't do any reading because of that. Formatting can take very little time, but it can take a lot of time. And you can pop on an audiobook or whatever, but I hadn't chosen one yet. So I've just been catching up on Critical Role. I'm only 6 hours behind now. Technically I have the whole newest episode. Yet I pay for Beacon, but Beacon has been fucking up so horrendously here lately. So like I don't think I'm gonna continue to pay for Beacon until they fix their app. I'll just be a Monday girly, and that's cool. That's cool. I don't even get to watch them. I don't normally watch them on the week that they are. Did pick up iShot by Taylor Adams, and I am halfway through this. I'm reading iShot. iShot follows his husband and wife. They've gone through a lot, and they're on a road trip, and their car ends up stalling in the middle of like the desert. They realize that there's another car not too far down that's also been stalled. Then a car relatively soon after also stalls behind them. The car behind them has a dad and 2 daughters. The car in front of them has a man. They soon realize this man is not alive. And we also do know, because it's also from the perspective of the hunter, that there is someone shooting a sniper at them. By this point in the story, it has escalated quite a bit from there. That being said, it hasn't we haven't fully popped off yet. Right now, it's probably gonna be like a 3. It's very quick pace. It's exactly what I wanted for this occasion. However, not to be like a Debbie Downer, I just wish there's like a little bit more substance. I can't find any need to care for any of these characters as they get killed off one by one. And I also the writing is very early Taylor Adams, and so it doesn't have that, it's not as engaging as some of their other work. I will talk to you guys all later when I have an update for you. Alright, I'm gonna come here and close out this vlog. I finished iShot by Taylor Adams. I'm giving it a 3, I think. Maybe a 3.25. It's interesting, and by the time you get halfway through, it starts developing into a completely different story, which is fun. That's all it was. It was fun. I am gonna go to bed. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you all next time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.